All right, well, some of you said you were interested in seeing what I've been doing with my Toyota 4Runner to make it a better kind of overlanding vehicle, and also just a much more efficient camping setup for me when I do my photography trips. I've learned over the last 2 or 3 years now that this is a great vehicle for off-roading and getting to really awesome photography locations. But my previous setup was a little bit clunky because it just took a lot of my time and energy to just maintain my campsites. So what I've done is I've done a lot of different modifications to my vehicle to make it much more efficient for setting up and tearing down camps. Because you get to a campsite and you sleep overnight and you want to get up and just head out and shoot sunrise somewhere. And if you have to tear down camp and set up camp over and over again, that becomes really difficult. So in the past, I had a Tepui Atana rooftop tent, and that just took hours and hours and hours of time to set up and tear down. So I sold that rooftop tent and I picked up this Roof Nest Falcon XL. So pretty amazing difference between the setup times of those two tents, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. I've also done a lot of modifications to the back of my vehicle to make it pretty much I don't need to do any setup of camp when I get somewhere. I don't have to set up a table. I don't have to set up a camp stove, anything like that. So let's take a look at what we've done. So when I started out, I had one of these Arb boxes, and I had this lower Arb box, and the rest was just kind of storage space for my kitchen and whatnot. What I've done is I have added an additional Arb Outback cargo bin. This is where I keep all of my kitchen equipment. So everything's just ready to go. If I want to get ready to cook dinner, just pull out my cutting board and boom, I'm ready to start chopping up food. I've also picked up a refrigerator. This is a National Luna 52 liter refrigerator that's built for this this slide AT Overlander combo slide. It was built specifically for this refrigerator size, so it fits perfectly on top of there. So basically the way that works is I can pull out my refrigerator like that. I have access to my refrigerator up here, and then right here is my stove. So I have a stove. I can hook up my propane for cooking. I've got access to my food and my cutting board, everything ready to go right there. First saw this from my friend Shane McDermott, and just seeing his setup was incredible, and got me thinking about how I could do something similar. I've bolted this combo slide directly to my Arb box down here, so it's very sturdy and very secure. I've also added a 4Runner 11-gallon water tank up here with a hose, so I can have access to water whenever I need water. Down the road, if I want, I could add a water pump to that. I've also stored my rooftop tent ladder here with a bungee cord attached to this bolt, so everything's ready to go. I've got my propane tank for my stove right here, and I've also got something really cool that I want to show you next. This is my solar setup. So I picked up a Bug Out 130. It's from a company called Overland Solar in Idaho, and they make really nice products. What I did is I asked them to custom wire their solar controller so that I could have it underneath my hood permanently, and we'll take a look at that here in a second. Also wanted to show you a couple more things. I also picked up this Ironman 4x4 2 meter by 2.5 meter awning. What I really like about this setup is that I have these awning brackets directly attached to the T-channel of my Roof Nest Falcon. And what's cool is that they have this quick release system. So there's these little metal pins that keep it in place. And once you pull those pins out, you can take your awning off of there. You can either leave it at your campsite with some poles, or I can put it on the other side of my vehicle, which is, I think, really cool. It just slides right back on like that. Thought I'd show you another little modification that I did on my own. I've been learning a little bit of electrical, just enough to get a little dangerous. So what I did is I'll show you in a little bit, but I have a second battery under my hood that's controlled with a battery controller that separates my starter battery from my secondary battery. I've ran a line back here for my refrigerator, and I've also ran back here this 12-volt panel. So I basically ran a 10-gauge wire through the firewall of under my hood and back through underneath all of the plastic in the truck, and I built this this 12-volt electrical panel that has a switch on it, and I can use that it has 2 USB ports and 2 12-volt lines. So I can one of the things I can do is I can charge drone batteries or phone camera batteries straight off my second battery. That's why we've got the solar panels, to keep my battery topped off, to keep powering the refrigerator, and to give me access to more power here. Show you another cool thing I built with that in mind as well. So since this is basically my kitchen area, what I did is I custom built these LED lights that connect to my battery, second battery, via 12-volt cigarette lighter. You can see the cigarette lighter here and my lights up there. I just plug that in, and voila, I've got really bright lights in my kitchen. So that's a really cool little thing I built up there. I have it set up to Velcro in a custom spot that makes it so that they don't hit my Outback, ARB Outback drawers, and they're actually very bright, although right now it's the middle of the day so you can't tell, but they're incredibly bright, so excited for that. All right, so I'm going to show you real quick under the hood here. I've got a second battery, and it's all wired up, and back there I have a solar controller. So what I did is I wired a SAE side port that connects to my solar controller into this little plastic piece on my hood, which you can see. There's my entire hood, and there's a little SAE controller, or SAE side port, and it just flips open, and that's where I'm going to connect my solar to, and that goes directly to the solar controller and to the battery. All right, one more thing I want to show you. I decided to take out 2/3 of my rear seat here so that I could have a much flatter and wider platform to bring totes along. So mostly this is going to be for clothing and food, things of that nature, tools, stuff like that. But they'll go in bins that will sit right on top of this platform that I built. I also bolted it in where the seat gets bolted in, so it's really sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. But yeah, that about covers it. I'll show you one last thing. We'll put the rooftop tent up and just show you how fast it goes up and comes down. All right, last thing I wanted to show you is just how quickly this rooftop tent sets up and tears down. I mean, it's amazing compared to my tepuya, which would take about 15 to 20 minutes to set up and take down. Here we go. You just undo these latches, lift it up, done. You enter from the side, either side. You enter from either side of the tent. This back one is more of just like a rain fly area. Connects with 2 poles. Takes like 20 seconds to do that. And then to tear it down, all you have to do is this. Pull this strap. Boom. It's closed. That's it. Just gotta tuck in the sides, latch it closed, and we're good to go. Hopefully you found some of those videos useful, and I'll be posting links to everything down in the comments. I'll do more videos as we go along. I'm going to add a couple more modifications. But yeah, I'm really excited to get this thing on the road and test out its capabilities. Please, if you liked the video, please subscribe, like, and comment. Thanks so much.